everyone, this is Emily Leapart from Art from the Heart. I'm so excited to be part of Justine Hovey's third Save the Crafty YouTuber video hop. You can read more about this video hop on my blog and you can find that link below. I'm featuring several products by Paper Smooches, including the Splash stamp set, Splash icons, and the water dies. The beaver in this set stole my heart the moment I saw it, but I love all of the images, including the adorable otter, super fun shark, and duck. I love that each animal has a smaller baby or friend to go with it. This is such a unique set since the images aren't typical whole images that you normally see for water-going creatures. I love the water lines and the fact that the dies cut the water lines, so there's no effort involved in making your scenes. You'll see the many ways I used these images along with the water dies, which allows you to layer your scenes and create dimension, whether you want to create flat cards for easy mailing or add layers for visual interest. The water dies can be used as water, grass, or sand. They're extremely versatile, and I love that the set comes with so many wave variations. My watercolor panels were cut to 4 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm going to use one of the 3 waves border dies on 2 of my panels. I'm going to create 2 sections, one for the sky and one for the water. On one of them I'll have 2/3 water, and on the other I'll have 1/3 water for a completely different look. Now it's time to stamp all of my images, and I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink so I can heat emboss and watercolor. These images are so easy to stamp with an acrylic block. Only the first beaver didn't stamp completely, and that sometimes happens with watercolor cardstock since it's textured. It's easy enough to stamp extras though. Plus, I'm going to use part of that beaver for the otter later in this video, so it won't go to waste. As always, I'm going to fast forward my coloring 20 times to speed up the process and keep this video at a reasonable length since I have 4 cards to put together. I start by coloring the shark with grays and add bits of blue shading. I won't show the coloring of the baby shark since the colors are the same, just on a smaller scale. All of the colors I used are in the supply links below or on my blog for easy reference. I also used my heat tool to speed up the drawing process so I don't smudge any of the images with the side of my palm. This was especially important since I'm not coloring these images in order and I'm moving back and forth on the panel. I use similar colors for the beaver and otter, but go a little lighter on the otter's face. When I shade the mallard duck, I add a hint of blue on top of its head since the feathers are blue when they catch the light in real life. If you don't want to see the coloring segment, you can skip to just before the 3-minute mark. Paper Smooches is generously offering a discount code coupon to their shop for the duration of this hop, which runs through June 5th. You'll see this coupon code pop up a couple of times during this video. So keep watching and be ready to write that code down to get 15% off your entire purchase. Paper Smooches offers very low shipping rates, so if you're an international shopper like me, you'll be very happy with that. After all the images are colored and die cut, I can arrange them on their respective panels and ink blend the panels with colors to match. Once again, I will speed through the ink blending and only show the ink blending for one of the cards since the process is the same and takes quite a while. For the blue panels, I used Broken China, Mermaid, Lagoon, and Blueprint Sketch distress inks. For the greens, I used Cracked Pistachio, Lucky Clover, and Pine Needles. I've listed all the background color combinations on my blog, so you can visit that link for details if you're interested. To create the marsh area in the background, I stamped the cattails and their leaves in the same greens I used to blend the upper part of the background for this card. I color the cattails in some of the same browns I used on the beaver. Before assembling the card, I'm going to use Shimmer Mist and Distress ink sprays to create splatter on the panels, and I do this for every card. I love the dimension it creates, but I also like that it hides the imperfections in my ink blending. I chose my Distress spray colors to match the images or to bring out their colors, and also provide a contrast to the background. I adhere the marsh plants with glue dots and prepare to die cut the water dies and stamp the sentiment. I love how the waves look when they're cut. It's so easy to tuck an image behind the top edge of the wave. I also set aside the positive die cuts to use on my next card for a completely different look. I adhere the top part of the background to the card base and prepare to create a shaker for the bottom part of my card. I attach a piece of acetate and then use foam tape to build up walls which will house the sequins. I create 2 sections so I can keep the sequins contained in the areas where they'll show, which is behind the die-cut waves. I hold the panel of the card base so I know where to place the sequins. I'm using flat moonshine sequins here so they move around easily when shaken. I adhere the beaver with glue dots, and now my first card is done. On my second card, I sponged the sky with wild honey, spiced marmalade, and ripe persimmon. The background was splattered with Shimmer Mist and Hickory Smoke Distress ink spray. Now I'm stamping a sentiment from this super stamp set that reads, "You're my favorite sidekick." I attach the top panel to the card base with score tape and attach the bottom panel with foam tape. Then I adhere the sharks with glue dots and adhere the die-cut waves from the first card with liquid glue. Now my second card is done. For my third card, I kept the watercolor panel whole and used the same 3 blues and 3 greens as on the first card, but blended them all together. I've cut 2 clouds from the Curly Clouds die set in opal white glitter stock to put a little something in the sky. I'm stamping a custom sentiment from the Group Hugs stamp set, which is a set full of encouraging phrases. For the waves, I wanted something more subtle, so I'm going to dry emboss 2 lines of waves into the panel. I hold the dies in place with removable tape and run the panel through my Platinum 6 like so. The die gets placed on the platform cutting edge up, then the cardstock is placed face down on the die. The embossing mat comes next, and finally the embossing plate. I run it through and look how amazing it looks. After I adhere the panel to the card base with score tape, I realized that I forgot to add splatter, so you'll get to see that process here again. I used shimmer mist spray in fossilized amber. Now I can adhere the clouds with liquid glue, and the ducks with foam tape and glue dots. The duckling in the background is adhered with glue dots, and the other 2 are popped up with foam tape. Now my third card is done. My fourth and last card is a fully blue ink blended panel. I also colored and die cut a clam shell from a set called Summer Lovin', and I used the beaver's paw to hold it. I die cut the water dies from the same opal white glitter stock I used for the curly clouds in the previous card. I ended up die cutting a single wave from the panel so I could tuck the otter's paws behind it using glue dots. Then I attached the glittery waves with liquid glue. Finally, I'm stamping the sentiment, which reads, "What are you up to?" I thought this one was perfect for the otter since it rhymes with otter. After adhering the panel to the card base with score tape, my card is done. All 4 panels have color, sectional, and dimensional variation. The otter card has a fully blue background and shimmery waves. Duck card has a gradient blue to green background with shimmery clouds and dry embossed waves. The shark card has a divided panel with ink blended waves. Finally, here's the beaver card, which was the most complicated to make. It also has a divided panel with a shaker base, which provides the dimension. The die-cut waves reveal the sequins, and while this card features only 1 animal, it also features marsh images from the Splash set. Together with the sentiment, this card is the only one of this set that features all Splash scents. Now that you've seen them all, which one do you like best? In addition to the Paper Smooches shop discount, there are many generous sponsors and prizes to be given away during this amazing video hop, so be sure to comment for your chance to win any of those prizes. The more you comment, the higher your chances of winning. Comments will close on June 5th, 2019, and prizes will be announced on Justine's blog on June 10th. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to see more of my videos. As always, you can visit my blog for details, photos, and a supply list. Be sure to click on the link below to visit the next amazing designer on this video hop. Thanks so much for watching!